Hey guys, how's it going? Previously on the channel, I want to say roughly about 2 months ago, somewhere around there, I had acquired this mystery tractor. I have not. You guys have seen it on the channel. I know in some videos there were clips of it uncovered that accidentally got into the video, but I just kind of left them in there to see if anybody would say anything about it. Acquired a new tractor. This is kind of cool, and it does have a pretty cool story behind it. So I will be telling the story here soon. Don't skip ahead in the video to find out what it is. So today we're going to be unveiling the mystery tractor. There was a post I posted on YouTube, a picture I uploaded, where it looked like it had a giant hump or something off of the top of it. That was actually me underneath the tarp. I had Mike take that picture for me. He was here that day. And I came up with the idea, because I was showing him how to post pictures and stuff on YouTube. And so I told him, here, get a picture. We're going to have a little bit of fun with this. So I got up underneath of the cover and I sat on the seat and I tried to make it look like it wasn't me. And then he took the picture for me. And then I showed him how to upload stuff. And I showed him how to put captions on it. I said, coming soon in 2022. Today is actually 112 day. Happy 112 day to everybody. Go celebrate your 112s. So we're going to uncover the mystery tractor, and you guys are going to find out what it is. Make your final guesses now. Leave them down in the comment section what you think it is. It's more than likely going to be what y'all expected. So let's go on ahead and unveil it. It's not as exciting as I'm making it to be. I'm kind of excited about it because I thought it was really cool. Unfortunately, it's going to be kind of an adventure to get it running again, but it shouldn't be too bad. So let's go on ahead and I'm going to unveil it. Let me get the cover off of it. I'm going to put you guys in the stand. I'm going to get the cover off of it so you guys can see what it is. So are you guys ready to see what it is? This tractor should look familiar to some of you guys. I'm not sure how many of you guys will recognize it, but we'll find out. Did I say tractor? I meant something else. Ready? You know, now that I think about it, I should have unveiled it from the back. Oh well. So now you're all probably saying, why does this tractor look so familiar? If you watch Mike Starcher on YouTube, you should watch me instead. My videos are a lot better. If you watch Mike Starcher on YouTube, you should recognize this tractor. I bought this off of him. It is a 1978 John Deere 316. I've had it now for roughly a month, maybe a month or two, something like that. Story that I got behind it is the tractor. The guy who owned it before him, I think he was the first or second owner. He was using it to snowplow his driveway for a winter or two. He bought it to snowplow and that was it. Had a snowplow that came with it, and the story did check up because, as you can see, somebody at some point painted the hydraulic ports, and the hydraulic lines on the snowplow were painted the exact same colors as what's on there. So that part seemed to check out. The tractor, it started smoking real bad. The engine started smoking real bad. So he pulled the engine out of it. The guy who Mike bought it off of pulled the engine out of it, and he was going to rebuild it, but I guess he never did. The engine sat for roughly a year in a machine shop under a mill or a lathe, and the metal chips from the machine cutting the metal ended up getting into the engine. Unfortunately, the engine did The engine did sit open to the elements for a while. The motor, it was in pretty sad shape. And then a little bit after that, Mike bought it. He was going to get it running. He was going to bore the engine out and get the tractor running again. But unfortunately, he ended up having too much stuff to do on top of this. He didn't really have the room for it. Was going to keep it, but I guess plan changed. He came to me and asked me if I was interested in it. We kind of talked back and forth on it. I thought it would have been kind of cool to have it. I think the main thing I was after for on it, those are not the tires that it came with when I bought it. On the back it had a set of bars. I think I bought it mainly for the bar tires, and then I thought, you know, that is kind of cool. At first I wanted it just for the bars, but I thought, you know, that is kind of cool. They only made the 317 or 316K one year, and I already have a 312. So how cool would it be to have a 316? So the motor unfortunately ended up sitting outside. It was underneath a tarp, but I guess the tarp leaked real bad, and it got some water in it. It's bad. So I don't know if I'm going to end up doing anything with that motor. I could probably get it running again. All I would need to do probably is get all the rust out of it, get all the metal chips out of it, hone it out, get a rebuild kit for it, new rings, probably reuse the piston or put a new piston in it. Should be okay reusing the rod. So as you can see, the engine's not in it currently. The motor is actually sitting in the other room. As far as I know, the tractor did run, did drive, and did really good before it was taken apart. Everything on it, as far as I'm aware, seems to move real well, such as the throttle linkage, choke linkage, which I'll show you. It is kind of stiff. It is a little bit stiff. Choke works good. PTO works good. The headlight switch works. This works good. I have not done anything with this tractor before you guys have been here. The only thing I've done with it is put it under the tarp and stick it over there in that corner. Steering works, and steering works real good. Actually, I'm lying. I did take the tires off of it. That's the only thing I've done with this tractor. But it steers real nice. The hood's overall, the tractor is in really nice shape. Both of the hydraulic levers move. There is a little bit of play with this one going back, but it should be all right. This one moves good. It's got float. You can see. Overall, it is a very nice tractor. I don't know what number the machine is. It is a 78. 78 was the only year that they made the 316K. Sometime later on in the... When did the 318 come out? When the 318 came out, they started doing the 316 with an Onan, and it looked about the exact same as the 318. The 316 and 318 were basically the exact same tractor, all except for the 316 Onan was H1, only had one brake pedal, whereas the 318 was H2 with two brake pedals, kind of the exact same thing as this. I think the 316 as well had, I don't know if it had a different engine in it or not. I think it had the same engine. Everything about it was the same as this, all except for, like I said, H1 and only one brake pedal on the 316. The brakes on this tractor do work. I did test them. Both brakes work, and both brakes work real good. Right there's another thing that we're going to have to fix. As you guys can see, the hood latch, or the hood hinge. This brake works and this brake works. The only thing I don't like about it is it smashes into here, and there's a nice dent right there where it has done that. So we might try to pull out that dent. We might not try to pull that dent. This does work. The disengage on the transmission. That feels nice. I might put some oil on that one. We sat over there for roughly a month, like I said. There was no evidence of any leaks when I pulled the tractor out today to bring it over here to film for you guys, which is good. The 317 that I bought, oh boy, when did I buy that? I think I bought that back in June. I want to say it was June. Is actually a tractor. That 317 came with this tractor. Not the first 317, the second 317, the one that the transmission went into my 312 from. That 317 was a parts tractor for this one. It ended up coming here and getting parted out. So yeah, I have the tractor that it came with, as well as the main tractor now, which I thought was really cool. Somebody at some point put those front tires on it. I did not put those front tires on it. Personally, I'm kind of interested to see how they do in the mud. Not how they do in the mud, but how they do overall with steering. Personally, I would probably turn them around. Turning them around would look gay, but if you turn them around, you get better traction. Facing forward right now, they're kind of fighting against you. But if I was to turn them around, it would make steering, it might help steering out a little bit. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I don't mess with bar tires on the front. I only put them on the rear. So I'm not one to ask. No grill, unfortunately. No headlight lens, but I don't normally use the headlight lens, so I'm not too terribly worried about headlight lenses. We come around back here. Ignore the oil on the floor. That's from the 140. I was changing the oil in it yesterday. Yes, tank. Shouldn't be any gas in it, but it does smell okay. I'd hope there's no gas in it. I did also check. It does have the little tube right here that tells you how much transmission fluid is in it. And according to the tube, the transmission is full, which is good. So here is what I thought was really cool about this tractor. My 312 that I picked from a parts yard. I think I picked it up out in, I don't know, I want to say Medina, but I don't think it was out in Medina. Found a dealer sticker on it, as you can see right there on top of the dash tower. This tractor is a 1978. My tool weight is a 1978. Now I have another 1978. Come over here and you take a look. This has the exact same dealer sticker on it. That's the serial number for me in the future. I'll have to run that number. I thought that was really cool when I saw that. So these two tractors, I'm not sure if they were on the lot together or not. I really wouldn't be surprised if they were, because they're both just about the same year. I'd like to run the numbers on them, 312Ys as well as 316Ys, and see if they were possibly on the line together. That would actually be really cool if they were both on the showroom floor right there next to each other, or maybe the same guy who bought the 312 bought this. He wanted something to snowplow his yard driveway with during the winter, and then he would have that to mow his yard in the summer or do other small things around the house, which I thought that was kind of cool though. I found out they both came from the same dealer. I really thought that was kind of neat. So yeah, I never planned on selling the 312. I think I'm going to end up keeping the 312 now for sure, as well as this tractor. That tire looks kind of flat. So yeah, I think this one's going to stick around for a little while. So a lot of you are probably wondering, what am I going to do about the engine situation? At first I thought about taking the old engine, or taking the 16 horse Kohler that it came with, and getting that motor back into running shape, replace all the gaskets and everything, put new seals in it. But the only problem with that is the guy that had it before me took every single thing out of it. I found out, I didn't know about this until I bought it. He took just about everything out of it. I guess he was going to have it bored, but never did. And then it sat there in the machine shop as well as it sat outside. So it does have some rust in it. It's not exactly pretty. But everything for the engine seemed to be there. I personally just don't have the ambition right now to sit down and work on that engine and get it going again. So I had the thought come to my mind. Mike also has a I believe it to be an 85 John Deere 212. He is selling. I currently own it. It is not here in the shop at the moment. I gotta go get it sometime, or he's gonna bring it over here sometime. I'm not sure how this is gonna work. But the plan is for that tractor, and I probably won't make a separate video on it. Well, maybe I will actually make a separate video on that tractor. That tractor, from what I hear, smokes real bad, but he said that somebody brought a mower into where he used to work. He used to work at Ag Pro. Somebody brought a diesel tractor in. I think it was a garden tractor, but I'm not too sure what it was. And they brought it in. They said, I'm not sure why it won't start. I put fresh gas in it. So that sums it up for you guys. The tractor had gas in it when it should have had diesel in it. So they took the gas out of it, put diesel in it, started right up. He ended up being given the gas that came out of it, and I guess he stuck it in that 212. So the 212 has been running on gas mixed with diesel. That's what I'm kind of thinking is causing it to smoke, because he said he's put a couple hours on that tractor and it never seemed like it burned any oil at all. So that's kind of my guess on it. So yeah, the 212 has been setting since June, I think. It is currently January 12th. Sometime in June is the last time it was ran. So it might take a little bit of effort to get it running again. It might not take effort to get it running again. More than likely I'll have it in this video, getting the donor engine running. What I want to do is get the engine running while it's in that 212. See how the motor performs, check everything on it. Make sure it's got plenty of power to do what I want it to do. The only issue I have with it is it's a 12 horse. This should be a 16 horse. But I have a 12 horse in my 312. I have a 12 horse in my 112s, all except for my patios. Both of my patios have 10 horse Kohlers in them. This one's got a 12 horse. All my 12 horses do really good. I really can't complain about them. But it's supposed to have a 16 horse where, you know, it's going to have a 12 horse in it if I do that deal. I thought about that, but then I thought, you know, does it really matter? I could put those 16 horse shrouds on it. The only thing that kills me about taking this 212 apart is it is the 150th something 212 built in 1985, which I thought was really cool, but the tractor just doesn't really scream fix me to me, you know. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. More than likely the engine is going to come out and it's going to go into this tractor for a little while until I can get that 16 horse running again or find another 16 horse. I'm currently on the hunt for a 16 horse. If I can find a 16 horse, I'll spare that 212 and I'll keep it. So yeah, really don't think there's anything else to do here until we get the 212 and decide what I'm going to do with this thing, because we really can't get it running. We did look over it, you know, we checked the hydraulics and everything. I guess we could tear it when we could dive into the motor. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I think right now this is probably going to be it for now until I get this 212 and I start diving into it and deciding what I'm going to do. I am currently looking for a 216 or something with a 16 horse Kohler that has the wings that come off the side of the block. I'm currently looking for something like that because that's the style of engine block I need for this tractor. I'd like to find a decently running engine. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be fresh rebuilt, you know, but I mean, I'd like to find something that at least runs. Because I just don't have the patience really anymore to mess with things like that. I just don't have the ambition, you know. Although it is cold out right now. Maybe here in the summer I'll end up wanting to mess with it. But I just don't have the ambition right now to screw with it. So yeah. I guess this is going to be it for now. I'll bring you guys back here in the future when I end up getting this tractor. Maybe I'll make a video on getting it running, maybe not. The only thing I'd need, well, it did sit for a little while, so it would kind of be cool to make a video on getting it running. I'll probably make that into this video though, like I said once before. So yeah, I'm going to put this battery on the charger, and then here sometime in a week or two I'll have that 212. Let's go on ahead and take a look at this engine. I figured this would be kind of cool to tear into and see, you know, what all I got with it. We're going to start off with the engine block. This should be a K341 block. One of the ways to tell these blocks, and it's really cool they did this, is on the bottom here, K341 right there. They also did it on, no, they didn't do it on the bottom, but K341. And then another thing to tell the K341s apart from the 10, 12, and 14 horse Kohlers, the K241, K301, K341, is these have 10 head bolts where the 10, 12, and 14 had 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The other blocks only had 9. Why the 16 horse had more bolts, I don't know. It's beyond me. So what we want to do, and I'm not exactly sure why this motor was fully taken apart, but I would like to figure out why it was. There is a little bit of rust inside the cylinder. There's also a little bit up here. Plan is possibly to get this engine running. I would like to get it running, but like I said before, I just don't really have the ambition. There, that looks a lot better. To get this running. More than likely I'll end up cleaning the valve seats with this. I do have the valves. I don't have a valve tool for putting the valves in, so it might be interesting doing that. I know I've taken them out, but I don't think I've ever put a valves in an engine. So this could be interesting. You know, I have a drill sitting over there. I'm going to use that wire wheel. We might end up using that one though. Ready? I would say that looks pretty good. I might touch that up right there. There we go. That looks good. Let's take a look at the head. The head still has all the bolts in it. I really don't want to lose them. I'm just going to put them over here. I guess this spot is now dedicated to this engine. Doesn't look too bad. It looks fairly alright. And then here is the spark plug. I have cleaned up the spark plug actually, as you all can see. I did clean it up a little bit. You can see there's still some oil remnants in it. So it was burning oil. The story does check out. Where is the piston? There it is. That's the rod. Here's the piston. So I was actually wrong. The engine sat on a table. It sat on the guy's workbench, the one who took it apart and never finished it. It sat on his workbench. It didn't sit under a machine. I was wrong about that. There we go, that looks better. That is the original piston. Doesn't say STD or anything in it. Well, that's kind of cool. Can't really clean that up too well. Mainly just trying to get all the surface rust off of it. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but there is a little bit of surface rust on just about everything. This is just Scotch-Brite, steel wool, whatever you want to call it. It's not really that abrasive, but it does a good job at getting most of the stuff off the surface. That looks pretty good. You can see some of the metal shavings right there that I was talking about, making me kind of worried about getting this running. I'll have to clean that out real good. Yeah, they're all up in there. Piston looks alright. I'll put it over here. I didn't really get anything out. Here is is the bottom of the engine. Yeah, that's going to need to be definitely cleaned. Right here's the... That's an interesting one. Never seen a drain like that. Not magnetic. Well, that's interesting. I've never seen one like this. Weird. Down in the bore there is a little bit of surface rust. I haven't even looked at the bore in this engine yet. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see the bore. I know cameras don't catch the bore too good because it is a reflective surface. I don't know, y'all might be able to see it, you might not be able to see it. I do want to look at it though. I think this light's going dead. I'd have to wipe it out in order to see. There is a little bit of Scotch-Brite, or there is a little bit of rust in there. More than likely I'm going to have to come in here with the Scotch-Brite and clean this out real good. Be careful. Yeah, this board isn't really... It's kind of sticky. I wonder why it's so sticky. That looks a little bit better. More than likely this is going to get honed out, so I'm not too worried about it. That didn't quite get rid of it. Grab my... With these, I just want to see if I feel any score in this bore. Anything that grabs it. I do feel something. If it stops it, that means that it's not good. It's just gliding right now on the surface. So far it seems okay. There's a little bit of something right there. There's a ridge. You can see I'm not pushing on it, I'm just letting the weight of the tool do the work. Just feeling around in it. I'm looking for a deep score. You know, one that'll stop me. That's rust right there that I just caught. But I'm looking for a deep score in there, something that'll stop this from moving. Which I didn't see. Nothing really seemed to stop it, all except for that rust. So I'm just going to go with it should be okay. Just to hone that cylinder out. The goal is not to put any money into this. We're going to get it running with what we've got. I know somebody that has a hone. I've been thinking about getting a hone. I might get a hone, I might not get a hone. Here's the, that's got fur on it. Here's the piston rod. Piston rod looks okay. Everything pretty much has been pulled out of this engine. The camshaft, the crank, everything. The valves, keepers, everything is out. Keep looking at them and I keep wanting to just do a little bit of that just to clean that seat up a little bit. There we go. That looks okay. So now here is where the front mounts to the engine. So I have a bucket of used or old gas. Old gas does pretty good at cleaning stuff up like this. I'm sure y'all know what I'm thinking about doing. See how nice that looks? Now, to somebody who doesn't know their colors, like, oh, I don't know, Joe Biden.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. So if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
This might be something a little bit different to him, but I know what it is to me. these head bolts cleaned up, took them and wire wheeled them. You can see how much better they look than they did. I didn't end up doing all these washers. I should. I tried doing the one, but it just really didn't look much different to me after I did it. We just gotta put all these back together. And then there's going to be one washer left for the stud. See? So now what we need to do is put these back in this head. Not sure what I'm going to do with this head quite yet. More than likely it's just going to stay over there on the cart that I had it on before. The extra washer as well as spacer, I'll probably put them on the motor. There is a spacer. Spacer should be, I don't even see it. But I know it should be over here. There it is right there. I should have cleaned that up a little bit too. This is kind of small and insignificant, so oh well, I'll stick it back on there. Here is our cam. Cam looks alright. We could probably go on ahead and put this back in there if we wanted to. There's our one of our timing marks. That is our timing mark for the cam. We could put this in there as well as put our, we gotta put the governor back in. I don't know how this is gonna go. I guess y'all are gonna learn with me how to put this thing back together. I'm gonna bring you guys down. I'm gonna put the tripod on the floor. I really don't think it needs to be up in the table anymore. After I do that, we'll get right back into it. Let's see, now that I have this on the floor. Stuck our head over there. You know what, actually, now that I think about it, we probably want to clean this out real good. Yeah, actually, before we put anything in it, let's just do that instead. I'm going to take my gas can, my gas bucket over there, and I'm just going to clean this block out real good with it. So after I do that, I'll bring you back, and then we'll assess it from there. I mean, you can see inside there. You're not going to be able to see it real well while I'm cleaning it, but it definitely needs help. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then after I am done doing that, I will bring you guys back. Got this engine soaking in this gas. I ended up putting it in this little flat pan. I've gone over it with this little paintbrush right here, as well as my little toothbrush. I've gone over the motor pretty well, just cleaning out all the nooks and crannies and everything, you know, trying to get it looking nice. I would say I have it pretty well done right now. So if I want to, I could probably go on ahead and pull this engine out of this tote and set it down on some towels or rags. And then after I do that, let it sit there and dry. Or I can go on ahead and just dry it now. I did take the paintbrush And I cleaned out the cylinder bore. The bore is no longer oily, and it really actually glides around pretty nice. That's just out of the bore just now. I can flip it around and no, I really can't. I was gonna say I could flip it around and show you again, but I mean that bore doesn't look too bad. Unfortunately, there is still a little bit of surface rust in there, but if I was to scratch and scrape at it for a while, I could probably get it out. I really don't want to do that though. But the block is clean. And I'm looking in here. Oh, that bore looks perfect. Actually, I don't see any deep scoring or nothing. Cool. I don't see no deep scoring, and it didn't catch on anything earlier. It definitely looks better than the bore out of that 140 over there. When we pulled the motor to check its bore when I redid the rings. So I would definitely say this will probably be a better subject to rings than that one was. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing. Look how dirty that was. I haven't even washed that yet. And I laid it down in there and cleaned out inside. I had this laying in it for a while. That looks a little bit cleaner. But yeah, just taking it and doing this. But I'm ready to say I think I've got it pretty well clean, pretty well done. I've wiped at it for a little while. So now I think all I really need to do is dry it out, or set it on something so it can dry, and then after I let the engine dry, it should be ready to put back together, or actually either hone the cylinder out or put back together. I'll probably end up having to hone that cylinder. There's a little bit of dirt that I must have missed. There we go. It's just been pretty much trying to get every individual speck of dirt off of this block. You know, trying to clean it up and get it ready to put back together. I would say that looks okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it out of here. There's already some gas on my table, so I'm not too horribly worried about it. It's not dripping too bad. Let me get this put somewhere. I'm going to dump it back in my bucket. Then after I do that, we will bring the motor over and make sure it's nice and clean inside. There we go. So now let's take a second to try this motor real good. Should be nice and clean, hopefully. Definitely degreased it real well. Looking at it. That old gas just, it takes the grease right off of these motors, which is really nice. I think we've already done this side. I think we have. So yeah. Get that wiped up. Stick this down. That. Let's take a look in here. Let's see how it looks. I know before it wasn't real clean. Hopefully now it should be pretty well nice. Ready? Bucket is in my way. Oh yeah, look at that. That already looks better. yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That definitely looks a lot better. That really improved it. So now I guess the decision comes around. Do I want to hone it? Or do I just want to put it back together? Sometimes if you're lucky, the rings will clean up the rust in the cylinder. I don't mean new rings, I mean old rings. Stick it back together and just turn it over here for a little while and let it eat the rust out of that bore. I'll probably end up honing it out though. Cool. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to hone this engine out. I guess this video is just kind of going to be taking places different times. I'm not sure how long it's going to be till you guys see this video. I'd like to get it out before the end of the week, but I doubt it's going to happen. So yeah, I will bring you guys back here, I don't know, maybe after I have this engine honed. I'm probably going to put everything somewhere where it's going to stay nice and clean. So yeah, I will be back. Well, a little bit has went on while you guys were away. You really haven't missed a whole lot though. I have decided I'm not going to hone out that cylinder. I don't think it needs it. I took a piece of Scotch-Brite and I went into the cylinder and I kind of scratched it where the rust was in it. I think I got all the rust out of it. I'm trying to remember where you guys, when the last time was I saw you guys. Right there is the oil pan. Look how clean that came out. I also noticed while I'm looking at this engine, it's a little bit lighter in color. Oh wow, it's a lot lighter on camera than it is in person. So it's a lot lighter in color, so I think we might have peeled a little bit of paint off of this engine. So I'm kind of tossing around the idea of whether I want to put some time into painting this block or just leave it alone, get it put back together and then paint it. So I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to end up painting this, but we'll see. Right now I'm trying to fight with putting valves in, which really sucks. I do not have a valve compressor, so I'm just using a screwdriver. I can't really film it because of the excessive swearing that I do. Although it'd be funny, I'm not going to sit there and edit it. Over here is all the stuff for this motor. Did not come with a muffler. I ended up finding this upstairs, so I brought it down. It's a 200 series muffler, but you know it's going to work. And then I took this over there and I cleaned it. This is the air filter housing. Looks a lot nicer inside too. I just took that over there and cleaned it. There's the flywheel. I haven't messed with anything in here yet. Looks like it's got another one. No, it's the one that I just had. Here's the starter. As you can see, starter seems okay. I haven't really messed with it quite yet, but everything on the starter looks alright as long as it moves. I'm kind of thinking about taking it and cleaning it up. It doesn't wobble, which is good. Turns, but the shaft is bent. See that? That's not good. So we've got a starter with a bent shaft. I don't know if it's going to hurt anything being like that or not. I also found the hydraulic port covers I was looking for. They're in the yellow box. So I ain't put them on there yet, but I found them. Trying to decide right now whether I want to end the video here or just continue on with this project. I think we're at a point now where I could probably go on ahead and just end it here. We got quite a bit done in this video. That end, I'm really excited to show this off to you guys and unveil the mystery tractor. Today is actually Thursday, tomorrow is Friday. So yeah. Messed around with the seat a little bit trying to clean it up. I stuck some old gas on it. Looks like it started to work at cleaning it up a little bit, but I don't think I'm too worried about it. There's the 8-horse brakes for the tiller. It's sitting over here right now waiting to go home. So yeah. And I cleaned up these tins. As you can see, there's the head. Here's this. I think I showed all these off. The reason there's a head bolt missing is it's currently holding this valve down while I'm trying to put the keeper in with a screwdriver, which isn't easy. I think I know somebody who has, I don't know if he has a valve spring holder or not. I'm not too sure. All I know is it's a big pain in the ass, and I think I'm going to need a second person to help me with it, because I just can't do it. I need 8 more hands. So yeah. I think as for right now, we've got everything done though that needs to be done with this. So yeah. I think I said it already. I'm not honing the motor. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. We're just going to roll with it from here. The bore looks okay. Everything looks okay in it. I'm not sure about the valve seats. Hopefully the valve seats are okay. I'm going to replace the rings. The piston looks fine. The rod looks fine. The crank, I cleaned up the crank. It looks awesome. A lot better than it did. The piston, here's one of the rings. I was messing with the rings. It is about that far open when it's in the cylinder. Same with all the way down. Not all the way down. I didn't test all the way down, but it's about that much open. So I'm just going to go on ahead and figure that the rings in the motor were the issue. Hopefully that's what it was. I know before I mentioned killing a 212 to drop its engine in this tractor. I think I'm still gonna go with that project, or I might abandon it depending on how far along I get on this one, because this seems to be going together a little bit easier than I had originally anticipated on it going. I didn't think it was gonna go this easy. So yeah, that end, I got a little bit more ambition now to finally start tearing into something and working on it. It'll make a good video. I haven't really had very many good videos recently. So I don't know if this is going to be part 1 or not, or if I'm just going to continue on. I'm probably just going to go on ahead and continue on with this video. Can't really think of anything else to add to this. Well, it was supposed to be the end of the video, or I was thinking about ending the video there. I decided to continue. Last night, I should have waited to do this during the summer so I could have all the doors in the shop open. I think the old gas started to get to me. I started having a really bad headache, so I went in the house and woke up with a really bad headache. Of course, I took my coat that I was wearing. I think the sleeve was pretty well wrenched with gas, so that caused it. So I got another coat. My coat is being washed. So what I want to do is I want to take the bearings. This bearing was kind of stuck. I had to free it up. I want to stick this in the ultrasonic cleaner, and I want to let it clean everything out of it. Try to get it nice and have no dirt or anything in it, because I imagine it's probably full of dirt. I'm going to run that one through, and then after that one's done, I'm going to run the second one through. I'm going to soak that in something. I'm not sure what I'm going to soak it in just yet, but while the other one's soaking, I'm going to get this soaking in probably some kind of oil. I'll probably take it and rinse it off real good after it comes out of here. Ultrasonic cleaner's been working real nice. I made a video on it a while ago, having issues. Not having any issues no more with it. It's doing real well. Now I think after this bearing is done, I'm going to throw the other bearing in there and do it as well, because the bearings shouldn't really be that dirty. And then after I get the bearings done, I'm going to take the carburetor apart, and then we'll bring it over here and stick it in there and run it through there for a while. Not sure how bad it's going to be, but I guess we're going to see how bad it is. So I'll bring you guys back after this bearing is done. Actually, we got to take the other bearing out, so we'll do that while this is cooking. Took this over there and cleaned it up. I'd say it looks pretty good. I was just over here wiping off the other side. I still need to wipe this side off, and well, I figured I'd turn on the camera so you guys can see. I'd say it turned out really well. It does kind of suck that I can't wash that bearing out, but oh well. It does turn nice, which is good. Didn't want to come out. So now what I need to do, I'm going to do the same thing to that other bearing, because I need to grab my oil. Nice and lubricated. When the engine's put back together, it'll be oiled, but the engine will oil it with its own oil. There we go. Spin that around a little bit. I don't have any engine assembly oil, but this stuff seems to work just as well as engine assembly lube. I get told, I've had people tell me I need to get engine assembly lube. Just using engine oil and light motor or light hydraulic oil is not good. Well, I've been doing that now for however long I've been doing this, and I've never had a problem with it. So I just stuck some of that oil in there. I'm going to do the same thing to that bearing when it comes out of the ultrasonic. But after I get that bearing out, I'm going to take that carb apart. So, see you in a few. Ultrasonic just finished. Let's pull this bearing out of it and see how it looks. Oh, that looks alright. Well, the water don't look too dirty at all. Let it run in there for 30 minutes. Let me get it washed out real fast, and then after I do that, we'll go on ahead and overlook it. Took this over there and washed it out real good, and then I went up front and blew it out with the air compressor. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did on that one over there. I'm just going to go around in here and give it a little bit of oil. The reason I don't just use assembly lube for engine assembly lube is it's going to run on, it's going to have motor oil in it when it's running. There's no point in running something different in it than what's going to be ran in it when the engine's running. So when you really think about it, you're better off using the same oil you're going to be putting in it for the rest of its life. You know, so that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing it this way. Cool. Might put a little more oil in that. Just want to have enough in there that it doesn't seize. And especially since this was just in water, I would like to overfill it a little bit. There we go, look at that. Spins over a lot nicer now than it did before. Cool. Grab a towel. I'm going to set this on here. I'm going to cover this up like so, and then I'm going to stick it over there on that cart. next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look into that carb. You guys ready to see what we find inside this carb? Hopefully it's not gonna be too bad, but I guess you really never know until you dive into it. I think I have the wrong size. It's got the newer style carb on it, which is good. Seems a little bit messy. Oh, look at that. It looks fairly clean. Looking at the outside of it though, I could see otherwise. I was expecting it to be a little bit worse. Well, okay, it don't look terrible. Came apart nice. Ring still looks good. It is the 16 horse carb. I can tell you that by looking at it. That looks okay. Looks like somebody over tightened it at some point. Everything here looks okay though. We'll set that right there. Let's pop the side out. I think somebody over tightened that at some point. It doesn't look terrible though, but it does show. Okay, that doesn't look bad. That looks okay. You can kind of see somebody over tightened it a little bit. Can't really tell a whole lot, but I mean it's there. Let's pull the needle and see. Okay, that looks alright. No oil and water in it. Float was stuck. Float looks okay though. Now we gotta get that out. We gotta get this out. I usually don't take the seat out, but I've started to right lately after the issue that I had with the 140. Let's just take this main jet out actually first. Oh, it came loose. That's awesome. Cool. These sometimes don't ever want to come loose. But that one did. Because I don't really like running them through without taking these out. That looks okay. You can see through all the passages, so that's good. Choke moves nice. Throttle moves. Throttle has a little bit of play, but I think we'll be alright. I mean, it looks a lot better than I was expecting it to look, judging by the outside. One of these is going to be our magic ticket. I don't know which one, but we'll find out. We'll start with this one. That one would be if I had an extension. Convenient. I don't have an extension. Unless I found something. I should be able to get this out of here now. Hopefully. Oh, look at that. Cool. Looks okay. So I'm going to get this off, which might prove to be a pain. I need a 7 or a pair of pliers to get this off. Alright, I'll stuck it in the vise and I turned it. So let's see, where did I put those pliers? Let's see if now it'll come loose. There we go. Look at that. We got it. Cool. Let's take this, make sure the butterfly is open. Put that down there. There it goes. I was going to say, you know, that bolt's still stuck in there, but now it's not. That's going to need a new. That's going to need a new seal more than likely. And drop that in there, drop that in there. Not everything has to go in, but I do like to put just everything in there. That way I know that it's getting good, getting it done. Is there anything else that needs to go in there? Not that I can see. Alright. Oh, here's the float. If the float floats, then that means we should be alright. Float floats, so that's good. Ready? I'm going to run this for an hour, and I will be back in an hour. Well guys, I want to thank everybody for watching. I wasn't going to end the video here, but I'm just changing plans. Got pretty much everything done that I really can with the 316 right now. I really, at the moment, don't have any other parts, any more parts that I would need in order to get that motor back together. I am currently on the hunt for a valve compressor. I thought I knew somebody that owned one, but I don't think I know anybody who does. So, looking for a valve compressor at the moment so I can put the valves back in that engine. That way I can get the cam back in it, get the governor assembly back in it. I could do the governor assembly. But got everything done. The engine is sitting over here for right now. It's probably going to be sitting over here for a while until I start getting some pieces and parts for it to get the motor back together and running. Today is Sunday. I was just editing the video. I'm hoping to get this video up today for you guys. Just getting what I can. Got a lot more video than I expected to get. Got about an hour and 10 minutes worth of footage. At least right now, I haven't completely edited it yet. So yeah, I was thinking about just making this all one video, but I thought, you know, it's probably gonna take me a month or two to get everything I need for that motor. And then plus I've got other things around here I'm working on as well, so I gotta pick time to get to that. Currently right now my main focus is on this 140. I haven't made a video on this 140 in a while. It's been doing well. You see the head. I stuck a fan on top of the piston. I took the head off. It's blowing air, or at least hopefully blowing air into the cylinder. When I put this engine together, I put oil on the cylinder. That way it would help lubricate it for when I put it together. Apparently you're not supposed to do that. I didn't realize that. Well, I've done it before. I remember putting oil on that engine, but I don't think I put as much oil in that engine as I did this engine. I pulled the head off of here, and I think I figured out why this tractor smoked. There was a layer of oil on there. It was the same oil that I had put in there earlier, and it never burned off, so it just stayed on top of that piston. So that was what was causing it to burn. I've got this little fan sitting here. It's blowing air down into the bore to try and help dry it out. There's no oil in the block at the moment. I drained all the oil out of the engine. It still had the break-in oil in it, so I was going to put fresh oil in it. I'm hoping that after I do this, it'll run good and it won't smoke no more. It might still burn a little bit of oil, but oh well, that's the way life goes. We do it right because we do it twice. And it's a good learning experience. So yeah. Can't really think of anything else that I want to add into this video other than just saying goodbye to you guys and thank you for watching. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If this is your first time, check. See, the light switch is still on. Nudge it. There it goes. See, I don't know why it does that. If this is you guys' first time watching the video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. I don't make anything off of it neither. It just tells YouTube that I do a good job and people like my videos. It also helps the channel. It also helps the channel get around a little bit more. I don't tell anybody about this channel. Usually it's just word of mouth or somebody finds me on YouTube. There is occasionally the time where I will tell somebody about a video that I have uploaded if it helps, if it's something that might help them with what they're trying to do. For example, installing a snowplow or a helper spring. But other than that, I don't tell anybody about this channel. I let word of mouth spread it around, and or somebody sees a video on it that they want to watch. I know the 140 made some pretty good views. A lot of people really like 140s. So it did a lot better than I was expecting it to. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I said before, I'm not sure how long it's going to be until I get that motor running again. It might be it might be a month or two, something around there. I would like to wait until it's a little bit warmer, but I doubt I'm going to end up being able to do that. I'll probably go in the house right now and start ordering parts and getting everything I need ready to go for it. The rebuild kit, I'm going to have to find a valve compressor. That's going to be fun. I thought about making one, but I was sitting there fighting with it yesterday with the screwdriver, and I just couldn't get the keepers in. So I'm just going to do it I'm going to try to find one. If I don't find one, then oh well. We'll find another way to put the valves in. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see all of you in the next video. There was something I wanted to add to this, but I can't remember what it was. So yeah, I think that is going to be it. So take care. Bye.